Hello, Robert John Burton reading another script about my life with Asperger's. I do not think meeting my daily needs is coming to terms with accepting myself or knowing myself completely. Often I do not think about anything at all. Most children with Asperger's want to be social, but fail to socialize successfully, which can lead to later withdrawal and being asocial, beginning in adolescence and onwards. We risk being drawn into unsuitable and inappropriate friendships and social groups, surviving by mimicking unhealthy mannerisms. I never found relations with people around my own age. Those that I have had always had some agenda, whether used by date or have developmental issues of their own. I found poverty and being homeless because of my difficulty in finding employment. Or if having been exposed to someone's presence, I feel exhausted, I try to avoid that presence, I need it like a dog bite. As well, I was young during the oil crisis, which saw high unemployment. Eventually, my obsessions start to create an intense space where others cannot bother me too much. So I found work in odd occupations where I worked alone, like clothing repairs, house painting, gardening, or short order cook. A variety I know. However, if I do become employed, I will be misunderstood, taken advantage of, or paid less than those not on the spectrum, and be subject to bullying and discrimination, which eventually soured my attitudes to working around others. My communication style may mean people at work have difficulty considering this odd person, as they do not understand Asperger's. Problems with authority figures grow like weeds. Tense relations with bosses and supervisors become prevalent. They misread my attitudes and decide on my intentions. They never ask me. I shut down with anxiety and detach from the world around me. I procrastinate. My poor social skills and poverty creates problems with acquaintances, and close personal relationships deteriorate as people tire of my frustrations. But I had to work. There was little social support back in the day. Psychologists differentiate Asperger's or high-functioning autism on the spectrum by stipulating that there be no clinically significant delays in language, general cognitive development in age-appropriate self-help skills congruent with the disruption in adaptive behaviour with social interaction. Nasty stuff like intrusive thoughts, insomnia, immune problems happen as unwelcome side effects. Nevertheless, I can cook, sew, clean, fast, bother something to death, coax life out of nothing, read, write, paint, build, sculpt, walk, drive, decorate, dream away cares, take chances, hide from the world, mow lawns, grow gardens, and curse the sky flat. I love pretty things, all cats, friendly dogs, lonely places, running water, clean houses, hidden spaces, noisy storms, and sparse woodlands. I can make do without, walk the extra kilometre, bite my tongue, mind my own business, steer clear, run away, stay, stand my ground, whip it, work hard, fall in a heap, weep, and like to think deeply. When I'm alone, I can do all sorts of things. My virulent skin cancer is also proof of my intense defiance of Queensland's sun, building gardens. However, melanoma accompanied my thoracotomy as a victim of a stabbing. Wrong place, wrong time, leaving holes in my life and my body. After recovery, I went to the Queensland College of Arts. The best years of my life. My craziness, and I was crazy, was matched by others whom I became to understand found the arts as therapy. Good, I found my niche, and being crazy from grief, from an undiagnosed autism spectrum disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, was matched by some of the most self-absorbed human beings who would initiate me into accepting mental illness as a natural life event. Mind you, the 1980s were not known for their kindness. This was the decade of greed and can do without limitations, and I had a ball. After graduating, I ran away to the regions of North Queensland. The 1990s were my best professional years, and my autistic detachment was seen as artistic license because no one was bothered enough to ask. They had their own problems. This was the decade of AIDS, neoliberalism, and new everyday digital technology. Later, I was manipulated by minds who destroyed things for no one's benefit, which is real madness, and the details are best left behind in the decades of horrors, which included 9/11 and the global financial crisis of 2007-8. Enough to make him mad on its own, destroying businesses, lives and hopes, including that with some very unprofessional counselling which misdirected me into a dead end. Art as a profession is the refuge for some of the most cloistered, narrow-minded people. I might be much further in the art world at this point had I not quit so many times due to my spectrum disorder. The things that I have had to survive and the trauma fails to fix the rejection and heartbreak of work connections because I identified so strongly with it. Work is what I understand as love. I am a survivor of so much horrible stuff. The sort of abuse that eats away your guts until there's only disease and dis-ease left. Light, sound, smells, taste and emotions experiences are intensified. I feel easily overpowered, anxious and fearful. I withdraw and create self-soothing behaviour, exactly the sort of repetitive movements and failure to make eye contact which describes those with Asperger's. As behaviour like this interferes with usual everyday social contact, other people begin to back off, therefore limiting and leaving me to develop effective social skills. As an artisan, I worked virtually alone for 27 years. Even when I was involved with others in various art associations or activities, there was a hands-off approach. The resulting cycle of mutual withdrawal leaves a person like me appearing uninterested and unsympathetic. So understanding what others are thinking and feeling is difficult for someone with Asperger's, but it does not rob me of empathy, it just makes it more difficult to experience and to express. I am vulnerable to problems in my neighbourhood, such as others' antisocial behaviour and harassment. Due to the social isolation, I am seen and judged, seen as dangerous in the community, and have been placed at risk of wrongful suspicions and allegations from others. Therefore, I have become a positioned workaholic with a range of ideas flashing like a threatening signal in cuttlefish. Are you ready? You can never shut me down, close me down, shut me off. You cannot dumb me down because I'm a tireless, mean son of a bitch, apparently. I'm a non-believer, an alchemist, an overachiever, never laid back. I have the awards and photographs to prove it. I make enemies from a distance. People like to gossip. How do you get those awards? They never consider my years of hard work. The person on the spectrum may sometimes be baffled by complex social situations because of difficulty in perceiving subtle social non-verbal cues such as facial expressions and body postures in particular. There may be a tendency to take verbal communications too literally or concretely, and hence missing the underlying subtle meanings. Some jokes pass over me and requests are misunderstood. This can interrupt the usual smooth flow of conversation. It has and occasionally killed it. As a result of these problems, as an Asperger, I may avoid complex social situations such as parties, reunions, meetings, and I hate officialdom. So I have failed to develop the usual number of close friendship with others. Family was a disaster, and this is a form of torture meeting art colleagues. Therefore, I am perceived as aloof and not reciprocating emotionally. Not showing empathy, which I've always found unfair. Some people are emotionally manipulative, crying too easily, or having expected me to mind read their confused states. Angry states can make a person dumb. I do not like demanding people. Of course, my distress is unreal to them. I do not matter. I could melt down in front of them. It is as though they have thought I had a news conduit into their lives. Why? Are they so interesting? What have I been missing all these years? Trust is a fragile thing, and in my senior years I cannot keep hoping for a more sensitive world. I tried teaching, as I have university qualifications, gaining awards because I was obsessive. But university was an awful experience. I got bullied so much. I misunderstood so much. Teaching was a snake pit for me. The kids saw me coming. Young people make fun of the way I move. I stride with a military step rather than walk. My voice has an unusual quality to speech, which others describe as effeminate. I was always thought of as a girl when younger. The niceties of bureaucracy tied me in knots. I had started too late and was criticised harshly by others who thought I should have known better. But I did not. I had no executive planning function. I was doing what I was told by a system that had no interest in me past getting me into work at any cost. The only cost was a severe mental breakdown, as my reactions were never quite what was expected. I knew I was missing the plot, and others took that to mean I was resilient, when I was in real need of attention and care. Baby boomers are dealt a rough hand today. Our generation is to blame for everything. No, we are not, because to say so means you are trapping yourself into believing a group, race, religion, anything is the sum total of all things wrong. The stuff of Hitler, caliphates, Pol Pot, you know what I mean. So what did I have to survive with? I had no supportive family, a sustainable regional art practice, my own home, money, good friends, all the stuff my generation was supposed to have, just this empty feeling. I had lost something certainly, but it was more than material goods. My sense of self was gone. I had identified too much with what I did, my artwork, rather than seeing that it was not all of me. Many Aspies find supportive workplaces. I made do with what I could find. I did it on my own. This is my life. Thank you.